Hey there, Soul Shines. It's Michelle here, and I'm inviting you to wake up and live. And today we're going to talk more about the law of vibration and a principle, which I learned from this book, Hidden Treasures, Heaven's Astonishing Help with Your Money Matters by Leslie Householder. Really fun side note, I don't know if I've ever told you, Leslie Householder's sister-in-law, we've been friends for years, and we lost touch with each other, and then I found Leslie Householder, and I was like, I wonder if she's related to my friend. And then got in touch with my friend, and turned out, yes, she's her sister-in-law. So I thought, it's one of those small world connection things going on in your lives. Interesting, I'm dealing with emotions as I have learned today that I no longer get to do any live videos from my phone. YouTube made some changes, and you have to have 1,000 subscribers, and I was kind of sad because sometimes, especially when I'm out and about, that's my favorite way. When I have like this thing to share you guys, I want to do that, but they've changed their things, so I'll have to make videos and upload them if I'm out and about and choose to do that. Obviously at home I now get to get on my computer no matter what, which is probably good because my computer videos are definitely more professional. But it is a little emotional, and I get to look at, what kind of feelings came up with that. So today I wanted to talk more about the law of vibration, just a little bit added to it to give you kind of some ideas of what's going on out there in the creation world, what's happening, and then a principle which I think will be super beneficial to everybody. So in her book she references an acorn, and this is what it says, and I don't have my glasses nearby, so I have to hold it a ways away. All that an acorn needs is drawn to it by natural law. So a seed gets planted, and if it's in good soil, it pulls the nutrients in. It pulls water in that comes in. As it gets above ground, it pulls the air in and the sun in, and it just grows. Just by the fact that the seed was planted, it continues to grow. So this is when we are doing our visualizations. That came out really weird. When we're doing our visualizations, when we're doing if we're listening to what we're creating, if we're saying them, writing them, however it is, whatever tools we're using to put out there, this is what I want, this is what I want to have now. We plant that seed out there in the universe. We say, hey universe, hey God, this is what I want in my life. So we've planted the seed, and now everything gets drawn to it that's needed to create it. The right people will show up into your lives. The right circumstances show up into your life. The right ideas pop into your head. That's what I've been noticing as I've been working on some of the things that I have on my vision board, and I have in my listening things. I'm noticing that I'm getting a lot more responses when it comes to my weight and my hair and my physical appearance for the first time ever. And I not only am getting reminders or ideas, I'm like Googling something, being led to somewhere else. It's just perfect, and everything's coming perfect, so that I'm now stepping into the tools, the way, the path. It's like drawing in all the things that I need to actually get me where I want to go, and it's pretty incredible. And that's what happens is we plant that seed, and the information comes, the right people come, the right circumstances come, the right ideas come, and we make the changes we need to if that's what it takes, and we get where we're going. And it's all a matter of we planted the seed. We told the universe, we told God, hey, this is what I want in my life, and so it happens. And that's like really what the law of vibration is about. And so I just wanted to share that little bit with you about the law of vibration. I can really talk today. Have you noticed? Okay, so here's the principle, and it is a geography principle. So I'm going to probably do a lot of reading. I don't even think, my glasses aren't even downstairs, so I can't grab them. The Sea of Galilee Principle. This is with the concept of making room for what you want to come. If you look at the map, the Jordan River comes from the north, flows to the Sea of Galilee, and then continues south where it ends at the Dead Sea. And the Dead Sea is way lower than sea level, and it keeps all of the water that flows into it. The only way water gets out of the Dead Sea is through evaporation. I live near the Great Salt Lake, and so we actually have a similar kind of thing where the water just collects, and there's really not a lot. I mean, we have more life in the Great Salt Lake than we do in than there is in the Dead Sea, but that also varies depending on how much water we've had each year, how much water feeds into it. And then that also created our salt flats that we have out in another part of Utah that's near the Great Salt Lake, because that's all the salt that comes, because it just collects. It doesn't go anywhere. So, okay, so we're going to think about two different bodies of water. Both have the Jordan River feeding into it. I struggle with that because we have a mini Jordan River here in Utah that, and I think that they kind of wanted that. The people that settled here wanted that little reference. It's kind of funny to me. So I was like, I got to think the Jordan River, not our little Jordan River. So the water comes into the Sea of Galilee. There's a great climate, fertile, it produces large crops, it's abundant. They have a lot of fisheries, they have a great source of wealth. They've got a lot of export trade. It's actually pretty small, and because it's only 85 miles square miles, and it's 680 feet below sea level. The next page, and there's actually a map in here. Okay, I can do this. If I can remember which way to fold things. Okay, so we've got up here the Sea of Galilee, and down here the Dead Sea, and then this is the Jordan River flowing into both of them. Okay, so also, if you are a person with the Sea of Galilee personality, it's like if you personify the Sea of Galilee. Cheerful disposition, which means they have an excellent climate. They're productive, they're prosperous, they make significant contributions to the world. They're humble, and they're just a life of abundance and miracles, right? So the Dead Sea has a hot climate. It's not fertile. It's approximately 500 miles square, so it's actually kind of large. It's got no outlet except for evaporation. It's mineral accumulation and causes extreme bitterness in the water, a lot of salt, and other minerals. 1,290 feet below sea level. And interestingly enough, the thing that I didn't read is Christ performed a lot of miracles in the Sea of Galilee, and the judgment of Sodom and Gomorrah, Admah, Zeboim, and Zoar or Bela is all that judgment happened at the Dead Sea. So there's like this judgment thing there. So if you personify the Dead Sea, it's not so pleasant disposition. So they're not very nice, not very friendly. They don't nourish and grow good seeds. They may seem great and significant, but actually they are on a lower plane of existence, a lower vibration in many ways. They hoard what they receive with no outlet, and they end up losing anyway. Anything that does remain leads to unhappiness and dissatisfaction. There's a lot of mineral deposits of unhappiness, low vibrations. They just kind of get stuck down in there. And according to this reference, they're in danger of judgment. And so they talk about, then she goes to talk on about the Christians, why these mean so much to them. But I thought that even though I'm not trying to speak specifically to a Christian audience, I want to speak to anybody who's wanting to listen. I thought still just that reference to see the difference between, are you a Dead Sea person or are you a Sea of Galilee? Are you letting things go through? Are you a cheerful person, or are you a negative person who collects all that negativity? And not just negativity, but the things that we have. So I'm going to read this paragraph. Are we letting blessings flow through us, bringing us even greater abundance, or are we stingy and selfish, bringing us desolation? Give and make room for more. You will be reminded of, they're going to talk about this. We're going to talk a little bit more about this principle when we talk about the vacuum law. The vacuum law of prosperity. So basically the principle is, don't hold on to stuff. You let your feelings flow through you, which means they're not depositing. They just keep flowing. You let abundance flow through you. So, and abundant blessings, because abundance just means a lot of. So you could have a lot of negative feelings and you're quite abundant. Prosperity. If you hold on to everything you receive and don't allow it to flow through you, you're not going to get back. There's this principle that what you put out comes back to you in a bigger quantity, flows back in bigger quantities. So if you allow things to flow through you, continually making room for more, and you add that concept of gratitude, which is so important. You are so grateful what you receive and grateful for the opportunity to share it with somebody else. And here's where it can get a little tricky in some people's minds. People don't necessarily realize that paying their rent or a house payment or paying utilities is giving to somebody else. But if you consider all of the people that benefit when you pay your utilities, it pays for the people that keep your utilities growing. There's so much to be grateful for there. And paying your bill says, thank you for allowing me to have this. Thank you for keeping it running. I know when we had a power line go out, there was 20 cars that came so that they could fix all of the things. So all of those different people that came get to get paid from the money that we pay when we pay our bill. So we get to give them the opportunity to take care of their families. And if we can think about that as we are paying our different things, not just a matter of keeping our commitment, but also that appreciation for all of the people behind it that have made it possible for you to be where you're at, that have made it possible for you to have your electricity or your cable or your water or your gas, or that make it possible for you to have your TV or your phone. And if you have debt, you got something from that debt, right? I have education debt. I have a little bit. I don't have a lot of credit card debt, but I do have a little bit. And I'm so grateful for that opportunity when I wasn't able to pay cash for something, that I had the ability to pay. And how grateful I am that that company allowed me to do that. And if I think about those kind of things, and I think about what I received because of that, then while I'm paying that debt, I can add that gratitude in, that appreciation for what I got, that allows that emotion to come out, allowing more things to flow in. It's just an amazing miracle how that works. And when you look at your stuff, are you holding on to things? And it doesn't mean you have to get rid of everything. It doesn't have to mean you become an extreme minimalist. If you are feeling emotionally drawn to being a minimalist, because that brings you joy, versus keeping yourself small. I tended to be minimalist on this thing of like, if I get rid of everything, then I'm not taking up space, and that was an emotionally unhealthy way to go about it. But I only keep things that bring me joy now. And if you choose that way, and so that you're keeping these things that bring you joy, and when it no longer brings you joy, you thank it with so much gratitude and you let it go. And when you let it go, something else comes in. And when we receive a new house, when we receive a place to live, we'll let this place go, and with so much gratitude as we move into our new place. And that's just kind of how it works. So how you apply this principle? How do you apply this principle? I'm sure you guys have ideas. And honestly, sometimes I ask the question while I'm talking because I'm like, oh, I'm actually not quite sure what to say. And I get answers to questions like that. So it's pretty cool. So applying this principle would be, if you have... Okay, so here's what's coming to mind. I think of Scrooge McDuck. He would go swimming in all of his money and everything. What was the point of all of his money? He just collected it. He just collected all of his money that he'd go swimming in and stuff like that. It didn't really bring him joy, even though he thought it did. A really great example would be Scrooge from The Christmas Carol, because he was very stingy with his money, and he was a very angry and grumpy person. And then he had his visions, his experiences with the spirits, and afterwards he found so much joy in giving and reconnecting to the people, giving money to the poor along the street, giving food to a family in need, all of these kind of things. When you have the ability to give and you don't, you're being stingy and you're holding on, and you're kind of closing yourself off from everything. You're not allowing the stuff to flow out, so it's just kind of collecting inside of you, and that includes your anger and your bitterness. But when you allow yourself to give, when you have enough to give, I don't have a lot of income at this point in time. I'm creating that. But I also realized that I wanted to give more. I was already paying a 10% of my income, and I was already giving a little bit in another form of giving, but I decided I wanted to have another way. And so I was like, what can I do? I was like, I can do like $5-10 a month that I just have in my giveaway fund, and find different ways to give it away. And I don't have a lot of money, but I decided it's so important that I give and that I give back. A part of that is this YouTube channel. I learned so much. And I learned by talking to you guys, and I learned before I talk to you guys. And this is a part of my way of saying thank you for all the knowledge that I've received. Thank you for all of the wisdom I've received. It gives me an opportunity to receive this and share it. And as I share it, I receive more. And that's this principle. So if you want to be receiving more, make sure you're giving too. If you want to receive love in your life, be giving love in your life. If you want more gratitude in your life, give more gratitude in your life. If you want to be forgiven, give forgiveness, that kind of thing. So that's the principle of the Sea of Galilee versus the Dead Sea. The principle of the Dead Sea. Don't be a Dead Sea kind of person. Don't collect all of that bitterness. Don't collect all the anger. Don't collect all your stuff. Don't be stingy. Share. And let it flow. Let it flow. I've talked recently about your feelings and feeling them and letting them out, and ways to do that. There's no reason to keep on to any of those feelings. Share it or let it go. Whatever it takes. Make room for the good vibrations. Make room for good things to happen in your lives. And that is what I have to share with you guys today. I hope you found it beneficial. Remember, everybody, to let your light shine big, bright, live, and beautiful. You can subscribe if you want and like those videos, things like that. You know the spell, you hear them on most videos. I'll see you guys next time.